Well, hello friends, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be painting a copy of the modern day master artist Carol Marine. Carol Marine is famously known for her work on still life, landscapes and portraits. If you want to check out her works, I have given the links in the description box. So I also will be sharing with you all my secret on how I paint glass. So guys, watch the tutorial till the end. If you happen to have any doubts regarding fine art, please feel free to post it in the comment section. Okay. So what speaks to me in Carol Marine's art is her brilliant brushwork, the way she simplifies the shapes and the color harmony she establishes in the composition is absolutely amazing. So I will be focusing on some of these things and also learn from it, because painting a master copy is all about learning. Now the main theme of the video, the secret to painting glass, how to bring that transparent effect of the glass in the painting. The secret is background area, that is, you don't paint the glass itself but paint the things around it using Cobalt Teal color here and placing some random looking brush strokes here and there. I'm using a number 40 filbert brush for this. The bigger the brush, the better the effect will be. A certain boldness will be established. It will provide some strength in the composition. Only thing is I have to make sure that I don't cover all the outlines that I placed earlier. I need some of that initial sketch visible. I need to retain it somewhat, because it will help a lot in later on while placing the shapes. Okay, I'm almost done with the background area. Now I move on to placing some shadows on the objects. I'm using some purplish colors for this. If you want to know about what colors I'm using, I've given all the information regarding painting materials for this painting in the description box, so check that out. And if you have any doubts, you can ask it in the comment section. I will be happy to reply. Okay, now hoping that I'm using the right tone. One thing about tones is that it has to go hand in hand with colors, you know. Just the colors won't do the trick, but there is always a lot of contribution of the tonal values happening in the painting. So it's good to focus on using the right tones. Colors, it's okay if there is some mistake with colors, but any mistake with tones, it might haunt later on, you know. Okay, I have started with the focal points, that is the objects. You may notice, you may see that the background that I placed earlier, the secret that I was talking about, it is helping me now a lot as I paint the glass bottles, as I paint the darker values in the glass bottles. The only thing I have to keep in mind is that I allow some of that background showing within the glass. So this way the transparency effect of the glass will be shown later as I place the highlights. So it's good to minimize some brush strokes here and there. Also, since this is a master copy, I'm exploring how the artist approaches to tonal values, color balance, shapes, highlights and so on. The focus here is to learn as much as possible by copying works of other artists, and in this case there is always something to learn when painting a Carol Marine master copy, because every single painting of hers has a story to tell, you know. And also I will be uploading some new content on the basics of still life, so stay tuned for that. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing, and for the regular content. And if you are a beginner, I suggest you paint lots of copies of other artists, because this is how one learns to paint effectively. You know, what you need to do is take an image and edit it into a black and white image, okay, and focus on building up your skill in tonal values and brush strokes. Colors will come later. Getting the geometry right and handling of the brush, all these things and also the tones. All these things should be the top priority if you are new to still life. And also I suggest you paint the same thing at least 3 times. Okay, this way your understanding of painting increases very fast. Okay, this repetition of painting over and over again, it's actually good for our development as artists. Okay, back to the tutorial. I'm placing some similar looking tones from the background and foreground onto the glass. I think this will amplify the transparent effect of the glass, which then reminds me of reflections. When it comes to painting glass, a lot of factors come into play. Factors like the color of the ceiling, any reflections of objects around the glass, and so on. So simplification plays its role here as well. And I think it's better to think and place the brush strokes in our mind before placing them on paper. So this is one way to simplify and avoid unnecessary mess. Minimal brush strokes has a way of establishing a nice sense of visual poetry. And of course this will take a lot of practice and a lot of time, but one thing's for sure is that our passion is all that is required, to reach our goals. Okay, I'm placing some shadows for the objects. The shadow tone that I painted earlier, it turned out that it looked really dull, so I paint them again. And since this is acrylics, it's much easier to paint over it because the underlying paint is already dried. Also, I'm trying to paint a little bluish shadows because the warm red flower at the top, it needs some balance. So I provide that balance by going a little bluish on the shadows. Now I move on to using lighter values. I start with the foreground and again using a bigger brush is better when it comes to painting big shapes. Notice the darker tone underneath the lighter one. It's actually helping the lighter value to glow, so this means a painting always needs a base tone earlier, so that the light tones which will be painted later will look more effective in the composition, and this will make the painting look more lively. And also I'm bringing that tone inside the glass bottle, so again that transparent effect will be established. It will be seen once I place the highlights later. Okay. Okay, now I try to solidify the background area by repainting it with the same tone that I used earlier, the Cobalt Teal color. It also happens to be one of my favorite colors. So what this does is again help develop that transparent effect of the glass. The similar color in the background and similar color inside the glass bottles, it will help with the transparency. Okay. Okay guys, if you have made this far into the video, why not hit that like button and also consider subscribing if you are new to this channel. Check out the playlist section as well. I have uploaded quite a bit of videos there regarding different subjects like landscape, portraiture, figures, still life, and so on. And feel free to post in the comment section your thoughts on this video, and I also would love to hear some new ideas on what should I paint next. So ask that in the comment section as well. Okay. Okay, now the most favorite moment in the process for me is that the bluish tone that I'm painting now. Carol Marine painted it in her bottles. I am copying that, and I think it will give a very huge impact in the painting. This also shows that every little things, when we paint them, if we paint them in the right place at the right time, it will be a great contributing factor, in the composition. this little bluish tones, I have a feeling that it will bring all other things together and work. It will make other things work as one unit, you know. It will create a correlation between other shapes. Usually the dark tones tend to bring things together, but in this case, this little blue thing, it is helping a lot. And now I'm painting some reflections of the flower in the bottles. This will also help with the balance of colors. I'm improvising here and there. I'm not painting everything as it is. Improvising is actually good when it comes to painting bold. I'm using a permanent yellow medium for this. I have to use it very thick because it tends to be a very transparent color. Okay, now the final part of the painting, that is the highlights. What will this do is it will make the glass look more like a glass. It will amplify the shape, you know, and it will make things pop out, and it will make the shapes look more three-dimensional. I'm using pure titanium white for this. I'm placing it in a thick way. Okay friends, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I also hope that this video was of some use to you in your art learning process. If you subscribed or watched the video, I thank you all, and I also hope to see you in the next video. And to all my subscribers who have supported me so far, thank you so much. And on that note, I will see you again. Thank you.